Girbeagly!
Hey there guys and gals, it's Girbeagly with another episode of Gaming with Girbeagly, and I'm once again playing another random one-shot from over on Itch.io. This is a game called Tuesday, and this is a visual novel that I just randomly stumbled upon. I don't really know much about it because the game page itself on Itch.io is incredibly vague. It says that we're a guy at his first day on the job, and besides that, it mentions Carpe Diem, and that's literally it. So I'm guessing there's some random happenstance that happens as we embrace the day and we go forward with our life and discover something about ourselves, perhaps. I don't really know. Allegedly, it's very chill according to the comments on this game, but that's really it. So let's jump into Tuesday. I thought this was fitting because, as I'm putting this up, it is Tuesday. Tuesday, 4:57 p.m. Since the group of high schoolers left, the city library was nearly empty and would be completely quiet if it wasn't for my coworker. By that time, it was probably the 1000th time I heard his rant. So we are a library worker. Cool. That's actually a job that I thought about doing for a while because I was like, that sounds nice and peaceful for the most part. I'm 26 now, but still in this dead-end job with no prospect of change. I like his shirt at least. Facial hair might need a little bit of work, but hello there, Mr. Coworker Complainer Man. I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in time. I wanted to tell him that he wasn't, but I knew it wasn't going to help him any. What would happen next would be him telling me it was only my first day at the job and I couldn't possibly understand. In a way, he was correct. Besides, if he wanted to wallow in self-pity, there was nothing I could do about it. There's only so much help you can give to someone who doesn't want it, and I could use my energy on something else. For example, rearranging the books on shelf 35. My coworker shrugged and pointed to that exact same shelf. Just look at that. They probably messed it all up. Kids have it so easy nowadays, just walking around and doing nothing the whole day. Man, what a complainer, jeez. He didn't see how, from what he told me. He wasn't very different back in the day and how that was probably correlated to his career choices. He placed a small pile composed of 4 books on the counter and patted it with his right hand. Can you put these there? Check if anything is out of place. I grabbed the books and pointed to the shelf. My coworker nodded in response. Yeah, that one. I was already on my way there, but he kept on talking loud enough for me to hear him clearly through the halls. Don't worry about me here. Today's a slow day. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're really bored with life and stuff, why don't you do some of the work, man? Come on. Make the new guy do everything. Not that I could compare it to any other. You know what? You can take a look around for now while I type these new books into the catalog. Earlier, my coworker said he remembered the days when computers weren't involved and library cards were always filled manually. While he could operate the computer catalog system just fine, he liked having a paper backup. Man, this guy's stuck in the past too. Jeez, what's wrong with this coworker? He didn't seem to be in the mood to teach me how to do any of that at the moment, anyway. Later. I slowed down my walking pace when I got near shelf 35. If I hadn't, I would have tripped over a bag the teenagers forgot and dropped the books I was carrying. Our only current patron, the man reading today's newspaper at the other corner of the library, would have been startled. Moving the bag out of the way with my foot, I searched the shelf for spaces to fill while making sure everything stayed in the alphabetical order. As my coworker expected, the students did a bit of a mess. From a librarian's point of view, of course, which means it was just 3 books out of place, one of them being from another section. I did notice that the translation of this, because this wasn't written by someone who natively speaks English, it's a little bit off in places, so hopefully that doesn't make it too jilted as I narrate this. But overall, this seems really pleasant so far. I like the art style. And the music. The latter was a very important book. I fixed things up and hurried back to the counter, carrying the bag in one hand and the book in the other. Oh, so they left us a little surprise. I wonder how long it will take for them to realize they're missing something. About 4 minutes. What about the book? I pointed to the pink label on the side of the soft cover. Wait, what did he mean by about 4 minutes? Does that mean that in 4 minutes we're gonna meet the teenagers? Right, I didn't show you where to put those yet. The man who's reading the newspaper gets up and waves before leaving. My coworker waves back. I kept my eyes on the doorway for a little longer once he was gone, just waiting. There. She comes in every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Library card in hand, clearly in a bit of a hurry. She knows the territory well enough to skip us and just go look for the right bookshelf. Wait, if this is my first day on the job, how do I know this woman's habits? Huh, maybe I've been watching her from afar and I got a job at the library just so I could talk to her. That's a little bit creepy, but maybe that's the case here. I don't know at which point I fell for her. It might have been her perfume. Probably not, since Hey, newbie. Aw, man, interrupted my daydreaming. I might have stared for too long. There was a big chance he would tease me about it. I turned to face him. Can you man the counter for a moment so I can drop this bag on Lost and Found? I nodded, trying not to let him know how nervous I was. Are you sure? You don't look too well. I nodded again, trying harder. He looked around and grinned. All right, I think I know what this is about. I'll be right back, Don Juan. Hang in there. I walked around the counter and took my coworker's place, sitting down on the chair by the computer and the files. So my coworker's not a total dummy, at least. Before he left, he gave me the most conspiratorial of all glares. Soon enough, I heard her footsteps reverberating in the hallway louder than my heartbeat. I could hear everything. We were alone in the library, just the two of us. The sound of her steps came closer and closer. Her sweet perfume preceded her. Oh, hey there. I tried to pretend I was busy sorting out files to avoid staring. Aw, hi there, she's pretty.
Excuse me.
The computer chair creaked as I turned around to face her, like I wasn't embarrassed enough without it. And there she was. She wasn't the magazine kind of beautiful. No, she looked like an actual person, not airbrushed or anything. The moment I noticed there was only the counter between us, I lost my breath. I gave her a quick glance and a nod, so she'd know I acknowledged her, even if looking straight into her eyes would be a little too much for my heart.
Could you tell me if the book Oh!
I couldn't resist the surprise in her voice and dared to sneak a peek. It's when I realized it wasn't the perfume. It was the smile. I'd never seen anyone else with such a captivating smile, and something in it wanted me to do things. Oh, that sounds ominous, mister. Is this gonna turn like into a horror game partway through or something? Have we been stalking her and she's our mark? As in, I wanted to take part in making that happen. Oh, that's kind of cute. He just wants to make her smile.
So, that's where it was.
She had found what she was looking for. I wouldn't brag to her about it, but this time that smile was on me. The book I brought from shelf 35 was the one she wanted. Aw, yeah. The kids who were here previously, and bound to come in looking for the bag any time now, took it from shelf 17 and decided to leave it anywhere instead of taking the time to return it properly. They were obviously in a hurry, so it's somewhat understandable. Well, maybe not. Then again, I might be biased with the fact they allowed me to give her such a nice surprise. I caught myself letting out something between a single laugh and a sigh. Good job, me. Yeah, just pat yourself on the back, man.
I'll just bring this one home this time.
She opened her purse and handed me her library card.
Can you check it for me?
I nodded. Cold sweat was dripping down my face. I could feel it. Man, what a worrier. After wiping my hands on my pants, I took the library card from her hands with utmost care. Actually, it's kind of cute though. As long as he doesn't end up being a super sadistic serial killer or something, this is actually adorable that he's this nervous around his crush.
I haven't been here in a while. Is it still valid?
It expired 3 months ago, and the last register of her borrowing a book happened last year.
Let me see if I have any documents with me.
I waved both my hands, attempting to show her it wasn't necessary. Thankfully, the coworker who was teaching me had files on everyone, and at that point, I knew where they were. In a matter of moments, her new library card was printed according to the most recent regulations, so I handed it to her. My hands didn't shake as much as I thought they would.
Is this all?
I nodded. Thank you. She smiled again, this time directly to me. My mouth opened, so I think I might have smiled too. In retrospect, I hope I did. Either way, that moment could have lasted forever. She awkwardly held the book against her chest while putting the brand new card inside her purse. We didn't break eye contact until the high schoolers entered the library. Oh, those darn high schoolers, always interrupting everything. She waved and walked away as the teenagers raced towards the counter, much to my dismay. Oh, hey there, high schooler.
Hey man, did you find a blue and orange backpack?
It had these pins with black metal logos on it. How is he supposed to know what black metal logos look like, you melon? You melon. Oh, I love their shirts too. What's it? The ECB or LCB, and it's got little cat ears, and that one says Conkers. That one says amazing with like little devil horns. I like it. If it's illegible and looks like twigs, just how many blue and orange backpacks with pins do you think people lose inside a library? Oh, the stern friend. And then the cavalry came. Boys, your backpack is safe and sound at Lost and Found right now. Go pick it up. See you later, boys. The boys left as fast as they came. I got up to return to the seat, to return the seat to my coworker. Instead of sitting down, he got a plastic bag from one of the cabinets and pointed towards the door. If you run, you can still catch her. Aw, dude, I'm glad you're as laid back as you are. You're letting me do this. Thank you. Without understanding what he meant, I just looked at him and the plastic bag. It might rain. She has a big book that can't get wet. Do you really need a better excuse than that? I like the look on his face when he says that kind of thing to me. I grabbed the bag because my legs said I didn't. Wait, what? 6 p.m. We locked the front door. The workday was officially done. To my coworker, however, this meant pep talk time. So, you did exceptionally well on your first day, newbie. It's your first job too, right? I nodded. At first, I was bothered by how quiet you are, but seeing you be all proactive with that cute lady with the wide hips reassured me a lot. Oh God, with the wide hips. I looked away to hide away my imminent blush. He patted me on the back firmly. Do you know why you got hired? I had a guess, but I preferred to shake my head to imply that I didn't. First and foremost, because we were in need of people ever since the head clerk went on vacation. Normally, I don't work 2 shifts in a row like this, but they needed me to train you, and they're paying a little extra too. The other reason is that you impressed me at the interview. That was a bit of a surprise. Sure, you didn't speak a word and basically hurried after delivering your CV, but the books on the table made up for all of that. During the job interviews, we're advised to leave the room for a moment and just let the applicant be. Most don't know they're still being watched. Oh, that's a bit of a creepy thing to do, but I guess I understand it. When people think they're alone, that's when they start acting like themselves. Ah, very interesting. There were other applicants besides you, and some were considerably better in terms of people skills, if you don't mind me being frank. I mean, you were probably gonna do it anyway, man. Hypothetically, that's what you should look for the most in a clerk. Hypothetically. One of the applicants got up and walked around the office, took a pen with her home. Disqualified. Another one got too anxious, started drumming on the table with pencils, broke one of the points, desperately tried to find a sharpener to the point of going through my desk. I still have the camera footage. It was pretty funny. Needless to say, disqualified. Do you remember what you did? I didn't, so I shook my head. You organized the books. I didn't ask you to. You were nervous, and anyone looking at that tape can tell that much. But you didn't act lazy or take advantage of the situation to do something you couldn't if anyone else was around. You know what that is, right? That's called character. Another pat on the back. That's the way to go, kid. You see a need, you go take care of it. You want something, you go get it. Not just with this job, but with everything. There's a long road ahead of you, so don't stop walking. Man, this is very proactive advice from a guy who was bitching in the beginning about having a dead-end job. Come on, man, take some of your own advice. I know that's always the hardest thing to do, but come on. Keep doing your best like this, and very soon, you won't be shy anymore, all right? I nodded. Well, I guess this wraps it up for the day. Since it's your first day and all, I'll take care of things. Are you going to catch the bus? I nodded again, but this time, it was a lie. If I said that I wasn't, he would figure it's because of money, and then he'd give me some out of his own pocket. After all, he saw my CV. He knew I lived 2 bus lines and an uphill walk away from the center of the city. All right, then you should get going or you'll miss the next one. I waved by and started walking towards the back door. Well, why am I not taking the bus then? Hey, newbie! I turned around. The bag trick worked, right? I turned around again and started walking towards the door. Ah, come on! You're not telling me you just gave her the bag and didn't get her number. Even after closing the door, I could still hear him. You still have a lot to learn, newbie! Outside was windy and humid. My coworker was right, summer rain was about to begin. And when that happened, I'd have to wait for the rain to go away somewhere along the way. Forget walking for at least an hour, going uphill by foot on a rainy day was nearly impossible. No use fretting over it though. If it was all the same, I'd rather just take my time and walk at my own pace. I'd get home when I get home, and that was that. There's no need to rush things. Right now, I'm stuck in a time loop anyway. Things will be the same regardless. I mean, it's like my coworker said. There are those who do things purposely wrong or take an easy way out when no one's watching. I could have told them that I was out of money, and I could have just gotten that lady's information from the computer. Forget her number, her address, and other things were at my disposal the whole day. I'm just not that kind of a person. Yeah, not to mention, that is borderline illegal. Actually, not even borderline illegal. I'm pretty sure that's just straight up illegal. The lack of consequences, or at least permanent ones, might seem appealing to most, but I don't have it in me to go on a rampage just because it will be a Tuesday again tomorrow. Oh, am I stuck in a time loop? Is that what's going on? In movies and books, upon realization of being on a time loop, people almost immediately start robbing, killing, doing whatever they please, commit suicide in a multitude of ways. Oh, it's because he's like referring to like Groundhog Day and stuff like that, a whole bunch of things like in the movies, like he said. But so that's why he knew that the girl comes in every Tuesday and why he already was familiar with her and why he has fallen for her. I get it. Oh, I get it. And that's why it was the 1,000th time he's heard his coworker bitch about things. That's an interesting twist. That is something I was not expecting partway through this game. Nice. And then what? It all ends up in boredom. I don't want that. That's not me. All I want is to keep walking under the summer sky at twilight until it rains and use what little money I have to get a cold drink from a vending machine 6 streets from now while waiting for the rain to pass. Yeah. That sounds like a plan. So I'm like a really simple guy who doesn't want to do anything. I'm just like content, I guess, or at least complacent in reliving Tuesday over and over. That's so weird. That's a really, really interesting thing. That's why he knew that it was gonna be 4 minutes for the high schoolers to come to the library too for their bag. Wow, game. You know, I might not be cool with the translation so far because there are definitely some parts that read really, really awkwardly, but overall, that's a cool plot twist. I woke up with the sound of the alarm clock. It was Tuesday. I got up, brushed my teeth, ate breakfast, got changed. Everything I needed to start a new day. After locking the door, I walked down the hill. Before I get to the crossroad, I see an unusual face. Oh, an old lady. Young man, could you please help me? To her, it was the first time we met. To me, there was no need for her to say anything else. It was almost an instinct by that point. So every day he helps this old lady. Every Tuesday, 9:36 a.m., without fail, she would need help moving. I just went there, crouched near the van, and grabbed one of the boxes. My early attempts didn't work very well, and I got my back hurt easily until I learned how to lift heavy things with my legs. Because I go back in time every time, my physical strength isn't any different than when I first tried. All that's different is my posture, my approach to this. So he's taught himself how to lift from the legs. Very interesting. Soon enough, all the boxes were inside her new home. Oh, thank you very much. It's good to know there are still reliable youths. You're welcome. I must go now. I bowed and left before she could start talking about her son, who was too busy the past 10 years trying to get a promotion that never came to help his poor old mother move. Wow, so he's really getting to know all the people in town as well. If I hurried, maybe I could take the left turn 2 streets away before the shady guys appeared. Then I could arrive early for the first time. If you don't like the way things are, you can change the way you react. It's what I'm trying to do at my own pace. I used to despair over how everyone else seemed to have no trouble becoming an adult. How everyone in my class had found lots of friends, girlfriends, a car, a promising job, a life. Maybe I'm like those high schoolers. Maybe I'm not in the right condition to have those things now, or just wasn't lucky, talented, or hardworking enough to achieve them. Maybe I'm not ready to actually talk to people like that, to network and all. Maybe I'm not mature enough to have a relationship, take care of someone in the same way they're expected to take care of me. And that's all right. Things are fine right now. It could be better, but they could be a lot worse. I can take my time growing up. Perhaps next time, I'll even say hi. End? Oh, holy crap! All right, so that was the game. That was Tuesday. Dang. Okay. That was not what I expected at all. No wonder why the game page was very, very vague as to what happens in this game. Whoa, I really liked that idea. I liked the way that it flipped things around, and it just seemed like a mundane visual novel where someone has a new job, they meet a woman, and they fall in love, and that's it, and they engage in dialogue. Nope. That wasn't it at all. It was a guy who's stuck in a time loop the entire time. And I also like the message behind it. Even though we're not stuck in time loops, sometimes it's very easy to feel like we're stuck in our progress within life. Like we don't know how to be an adult yet. We don't know how to handle those things that it seems that everyone else around us is handling. But that's okay. Everyone is born into their own pace. Everyone works towards their own pace. Everyone is able to determine what pace works the best for them. So if you ever feel stuck, don't worry too much. Everyone's at a different part of their journey, and that's all right. You're allowed to have individualism in that way. And I really like that message in this game. This guy wasn't despairing at the fact that he was stuck in Tuesday. He was relishing the moments where he got to learn to better himself. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Very cool game. Like I said, it was really rough on the translation. It made it very hard to read in some parts, and it was actually a little bit like, it took me out of the moment occasionally. It wasn't quite as immersive because of that, but it's understandable. Like I said, the creator of this game, English was not their first language, and that's okay. This game still had a really cool story that blew me away. I like the art. I love the music and the atmosphere. Really cool concept. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me play this though. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button, share the video and favorite it. Also be sure to subscribe to me if you guys haven't already. For those of you who have, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are the best in the world. I love every single one of you. And as always, it was great seeing ya. Bye-bye.
Girbeagly.